Welcome to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Podcast. I'm Brad, and we're here with Josh. Where's Pat? I don't know. If you see him out there, send him our way.
He's missing. He's on the milk carton. We love you. We miss you, buddy.
Today on the show, we're going to be breaking down that Monday Night Miracle.
Oh.
And we're going to be talking a little Thursday night. And a little rumors, little reports out there.
Dude, and there's a serious condition going around. We'll get to that, but
yeah,
we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it.
It's a chronic.
Disease. It's a disease.
Yep.
All right, so go ahead and start.
You know what? Here's the first thing I want to talk about, because it's fresh in everybody's mind. Let's talk about that Monday Night Miracle.
Oh, God. It wasn't a miracle.
He used both hands to beat. It took both hands to beat the Denver Broncos.
Dude,
It took Patty Mahomes to use both his hands to beat him.
You know, I could have appreciated Patrick Mahomes and what he did if the announcers weren't just riding him like a freaking bull at the rodeo.
I think that was ESPN's thing. They did like 3 specials on him during the Monday Night Countdown.
Dude, and Showtime Mahomes. I'm like, oh my gosh, just please be quiet. And Jason Witten, I'd rather listen to Tony Romo. You're awful. And Tony
Romo's a good announcer.
Yeah, but I actually liked Jason Witten up until last night, but all 3 of them were just all over Mahomes. I can appreciate his talent, his ability, his fantasy production, but come on, dude. It was clearly the announcers were one-sided last night.
Would you rather have Rex Ryan out there, though? Let's be honest. We heard Rex Ryan trying to do a game.
No, I would not rather have Rex Ryan out there. He was real bad.
All right. So I do want to bring something up that I haven't been seeing a lot of. Is in that first half, Denver dropped a few surefire touchdowns. That night for Patrick Mahomes could be a lot worse, because if they get those touchdowns, changes field, changes momentum, might have made him play on his heels a little more. I mean, he did have a great second half. I don't want to take anything away from him, but I think Denver did squander a few opportunities they had. It
was an underwhelming night for the Denver offense, considering how poor the Kansas City defense is. I really expected a much better showing from the Denver offense, and they just did not deliver. It means
a couple guys delivered on the Denver offense.
The running backs did.
Yeah, I think they're both great.
You mean Devontae Booker?
No.
Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman.
No.
Why is Devontae Booker anywhere near a football field?
I think the coaching staff feels like they owe something to him. That's the only thing I can think of.
He is not better than the other 2 guys you have. Those 2 rookies are ridiculous.
And that's the problem, is there's 2 of them. If there was one of them, they could be amazing.
I think, the passing game is shown to be completely inept, so I'm okay with starting both of those guys.
One question I have for you. So Philip Lindsay did get that goal line work to get his 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have went to Royce Freeman on that, how much would that change the way you think about these 2 running backs? Because before that drive, really, it's been Royce Freeman in the goal line.
So I think what they have to do is they have to use both backs. If you look, Royce Freeman is the bigger guy. Philip Lindsay is only 190 pounds. He's not a very big running back. His body type in the NFL won't work for 25, 30 carries. He's great, coming out of the hole, and he has a burst that very few backs have, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to be sustainable over the years. I really do feel like Royce Freeman will end up winning the job, which we talked about earlier. But right now, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't continue to use him. The problem is which one do you pick on a week-to-week basis,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of Royce Freeman being the bigger back, and Philip Lindsay is doing a lot of amazing things. But this is the first time we've really seen goal line work all season, not just that game, but all season with Philip Lindsay getting the goal line work. It's been Royce Freeman towards the goal line.
Yeah.
Most of his fantasy productions came from a 1-yard touchdown. If you would have got a second touchdown last night, I think everybody would be trying to you'd have people buying Royce Freeman, you'd have people selling Royce Freeman, because I'd be saying sell him, because he would have had a 23-point night last night if you give him another touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, he still had a good game. Right now he's still in the RB2 conversation, but I don't know. Let's
talk about the rest of this Denver offense, though, with the 2 wide receivers. Well, the 3 wide receivers. You want to throw Cortland Sutton into it, who's getting some action.
Yeah, he's their deep threat guy. It's very apparent. It almost seems like they're kind of phasing Demaryius out and bringing Sutton in.
He's dropping the ball.
A lot of balls.
Because he had, 9 targets, I think it is, and he caught 4 of them for like 27 yards.
Some of them weren't his fault. I watched this game. I mean, I'm a religious Denver Broncos fan, but it wasn't really a good showing by the passing attack at all. I mean, whenever Jeff Harmon, your third string tight end.
Not anymore.
No, now he's number 1. Yeah, because Jake Butt and Troy Fumagalli are out on IR. Jeff Harmon is your number 1 guy. It says a lot about your passing attack. I mean, he
doesn't know how to take a ball away from a little defensive back either.
Yeah, that interception was gross. I hated that so much. It was just not a strong showing. The fact that the Broncos were even, up 23-13 at one point, it says a lot about that defense. That defense had a great game plan, and they shut down Patrick Mahomes for the most part. And as soon as he threw that freaking pass left-handed, I just wanted to punch every announcer in the face.
Well, you had the left-handed one, and then you had the one where he was rolling to his left and cross-bodied to the field to Travis Kelce, which kind of got...
He was over the line.
I said the same thing.
He was over the line. And then they ran another play where the shot clock ran out.
The shot clock?
Yeah, shot clock.
LeBron was out there?
Yeah, play clock, shot clock, same. Dude, no, don't get me started on them. We got cheated.
No, the one beyond the line, I thought the same thing. But then the announcer's like, as long as any part of your body, Booger McFarland said, any part. So I guess he had a butt hair hanging out behind it.
How would you like your name to be, Booger?
It's a good name. Did you hear when he saw Peyton Manning on the sideline? And he's like, I got to go find Manning. He owes me a thank you for that Super Bowl he got.
He did. Actually, I don't mind Booger as much. I didn't mind him as much. I thought he was the best part of that broadcast team until
he's actually really good. He breaks down a lot of stuff and gives you more football knowledge, not just like, oh, yeah, guys, Randy Savage out here.
R.I.P. No, I love Booger. I think he's not bad, but...
All right, we kind of buried the lead. Let's just jump in this Kansas City offense, right?
So the big thing was Kareem Hunt, dude. Finally.
Getting some work. And
121 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown. And then with Sammy Watkins going, he's got 3 catches for 54 yards.
Yeah.
I think what it was is the game plan. And then whenever Sammy went down with a hamstring injury, it was just they had to find another playmaker. And then they were like, oh, what's this guy right here in the back pocket? Oh, that's Kareem Hunt. NFL's leading rusher from last year. We still got him? Weird. Why don't we use him?
That play he had tiptoeing down the sideline where he broke a tackle on the sideline and still didn't step out of it. I don't know how he did it. And ran down the field. That was an amazing play.
He's very, very talented.
Yeah, we saw what the game plan was. It was quick passes, move Patrick Mahomes around, try to stay away from those pass rush. Because Denver still has a great pass rush.
Incredible. I mean, what can you do, dude? I mean, they shut Travis Kelce out in the first half. Tyreek Hill didn't have an overwhelming game. I don't know. It's going to be really tough to stop this Kansas City offense right now.
Yeah, which they're going to Jacksonville next week.
We'll finally see what's
they're at home again, so I think that will help them a little bit, but still this Jacksonville defense is no joke. I thought Patrick Mahomes would have a worse night. I think Denver missed a couple opportunities to pick him off, but
I completely agree, man.
Luck be a lady.
Luck be a lady. But he did not ball out and have a ridiculous game. He only had 1 touchdown through the air, 1 on the ground.
Which made his numbers look a lot better. That rushing touchdown kind of bumps you up.
It helped. I mean, Kelce was their leading receiver, 7 for 78 and 1 touchdown, all in the second half. And it had me panicking because in our big money league that you and I are in together, my opponent had Travis Kelce, and I said, oh my gosh.
You had Sammy Watkins.
Who got me 0 points.
Yeah, the gooser.
R.I.P. But yeah, Tyreek Hill still got nine catches, just for 54 yards. He wasn't able to break away in this game. They had a great game plan. The defense did. So in this game, are we talking about any of these guys that you see? So for me, I think Jeff Harmon would be a guy because tight end is
so bad.
It's so bad, dude. But whenever you're targeted that many times and you have the most yardage on this team, it's tough to sit there and ignore that. And now Jake Butt's out of the way. If you're
really looking for a tight end, they play the Jets this weekend. So I'm not exactly sure how the Jets are. We'll get into that in a preview show on Thursday.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're hurting for a tight end because you're a Trey Burton owner or a Cameron Brate, OJ Howard owner, and you're just streaming tight end and everybody else is on your team because you're in a 15, 16 team league, super deep.
And I will say this, Cortland Sutton is the absolute 100% future of the Denver Broncos passing attack. And Dynasty, for sure, if you can go out and get him, he's going to be an incredible receiver for years to come.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about with the Denver passing game is the consistency of Case Keenum.
Case Keenum's been very unreliable this year.
Yeah, he's so inconsistent, and that's really what's, I think, holding this whole team back a little bit.
Yeah, it's not been good.
No.
All right, so after that, I think we talked enough about this game.
Yeah, we did. There's really Kansas City. Everybody you want's already probably owned.
Everyone, literally everyone.
All right, let's roll into a little bit of rumors. Reports.
All right. Well, I think that the first thing that we need to talk about is a serious condition going around the NFL. And if you have 1 penny a day to spare for your wide receivers who have come down with hamstringitis, please call 555-WAGON to donate today. There are so many players that are hurting and need your help. Please call. No, in all seriousness, so many players went down with hamstring injuries this week. I know because it directly affected me. We had T.Y. Hilton, who's already been all but ruled out from Thursday night game.
Yeah, it's a short week. Pretty much probably done because he went out, came back in, went back in. He had a chest injury too, didn't he? They say?
Dude, he got beat up.
Yeah.
He still gave me 15.5 in PPR, which he still had 100 yards receiving on 4 catches.
Okay, Josh, put your horn down. Quit tooting it. Nobody cares about your fantasy team.
Well, I'm 4-0, so I kind of care.
Nobody cares. I don't even care.
That's rude and hurtful, but it just means I'm closer to the playoffs.
Then we got Leonard Fournette, who came back, tweeted, "I'm back." And he was back for all of about 1 quarter.
Oh, dude, if you're a Leonard Fournette owner, you need to be seriously worried. He sat out all those games.
Yeah, and Doug Marone's even said that they're going to rest him because they're playing for a Super Bowl. So they're going to rest him. They want him for the playoffs. They're not going to let him back till he's fully healthy and ready to go. I am not expecting Leonard Fournette back this week. I probably don't expect him back for a couple more weeks. At least 3. Because he sat out, 2 games before?
Yeah, he sat out weeks 2 and 3, and then he came back week 4, and we're thinking, oh, this is going to be great. Remember, he left week 1 with an injury, and they thought with all that time resting. I think this is a more serious issue than they're letting on. That's what I think. I'm seriously concerned, and I think if you are a Leonard Fournette owner, you should be concerned as well.
Well, I think the biggest thing when you see guys like him with the huge legs, we've seen it. I don't know if anybody out here watches baseball, listens to baseball. You had a Cespedes a few years ago who has huge, massive tree trunk of legs. He was having hamstring injuries all year. And you think you're good with your hamstring, the scans and x-rays and everything come back clean. And then you go out there and you start putting the pressure and the actual game, stress on them. And then you just tweak something. It's really hard. A bone's broke. It's fixed when it's not broke no more. These muscles and these ligaments, when they're torn and tearing, it's a lot harder to diagnose them and actually know a set timetable. I'm no doctor, but I've watched one on TV.
I mean, yeah, I've seen a lot of doctors on TV. Doogie Howser, R.I.P.
Scrubs, baby.
Scrubs. I love Scrubs so much. Yeah, it's just the hamstrings are tough, man. I mean, you got Marlon Mack also.
Who's still limited. Still big time question mark for Thursday night.
Yeah, Marlon Mack is hurting, and then you have
Fuller the fifth.
He's had hamstring injuries forever because he's so fast. He's just so fast his legs can't catch up.
Yep.
And then Sammy Watkins last night, that hurt real bad.
Another one down.
And Sammy was looking good, dude.
He was.
He was getting involved.
Last 2 games, he'd been extremely involved.
Touchdowns, 100 yards receiving. I mean,
targets. The targets is what you want to see with Sammy Watkins. He's a volume guy. You wanted volume to go to him because that's what we haven't seen for the last couple years is not getting the volume that everybody else has been getting.
He was getting it. He had 1 target last night before he went out, and it was just It was disappointing, man, to see him get hurt, but he's been injury prone before. He had the foot issue earlier on in his career. Finally got an offense that was going to work for him. Got paid like $48 million and kind of down. Good news is, even though Marlon Mack is out, there are some players coming back this week, Brad.
There are.
From suspension.
We'll get to that in a minute, though.
Oh, okay. What do you got?
I want to tease that. We got the biggest news because we're kind of burying the lead here. Came out Monday right before the game. Le'Veon Bell.
Whew.
Reports are, Adam Schefter reported this, or he's at least the one that broke it on ESPN. I don't know where he got his sources from. That Le'Veon Bell will come back during the Steelers bye. It was week 7, so he'll be back in week 8. Oh, I want to mess this up. I knew I messed it up.
Do you actually think that this is going to happen, though?
Do I think Le'Veon Bell's coming back then?
Especially after what happened to Earl Thomas.
Yes, I do think Le'Veon, he has to come back this year, or his year on the franchise doesn't count, and he's still under Steelers control for another year.
So there was something that I saw that was pretty interesting from Adam Schefter. It said they only have to give him 120% of what his salary is this year. Not 120% of what the salary was supposed to be, which was like $14 some odd billion. So if he goes and skips all these games and comes back week 10, they can franchise him again for even less money than what they did this year. He needs to get his butt on the field. But I understand where he's coming from, especially after the Earl Thomas injury, because Earl Thomas gave him the old number 1 to his own sideline.
Yeah, and actually, Le'Veon Bell tweeted at him, I'll keep being the bad guy for you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because Earl Thomas was doing a similar thing that what Lev Bell was doing, but he was showing up to games. That was the biggest difference. So let's get back to the fantasy side of this. Lev Bell comes back. 1, do the Steelers, I have 2 theories of this. 1, they either limit his usage and he gets limited play time, limited play calls for him. Or 2, they run him into the ground.
I think right now you see the way that James Conner's playing.
Yeah, and I think that kind of leans more to the second way. James Conner had a great week 1, but
they're not letting him run the ball. And we can sit there and say, well, it's because, Big Ben's likes to throw and everything like that. But I think what it is like they do not have faith in his ability the same way that they had Le'Veon. Le'Veon Bell is a very special talent.
Yeah.
Let's not be mistaken about that. And I think they're going to run him into the ground, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't be surprised if he stays to that commitment where he sits out till week 10, which is when he has to report in order to get that year.
I could see him coming back on the bye week. That way he can get himself healthy. Because maybe we just talked about it, hamstring injuries, right? Mm-hmm. Players that don't go through camp miss a lot of time and then kind of coming in. You see them putting that game stress on their body without having, he didn't have any preseason work, no training camp work. He has not played a football game since last year.
Yeah.
And now he's going to come back in there and run full steam ahead. Maybe that's why he's coming back on the bye week, is to get that full practice, get some of that stuff under his legs and make sure his body's right. Because if he goes out there and gets hurt again, he costs himself even more money. And Le'Veon Bell, as much as we might not like what he's doing, I kind of understand what he's doing, but he doesn't want to get himself hurt.
I got no beef with what he's doing. I completely understand it. And the Earl Thomas thing completely validated it. I mean, he wants to maximize his value. He wants that Todd Gurley money. And he deserves to be paid as such. The fact that the Steelers don't want to pay him, that's completely on them. I don't blame him at all. I think he should go get his money.
Do you think there's any chance the Steelers trade him?
Yes, I still think that's a very...
Reports are they're still looking to possibly trade him.
The problem is that the same thing that was happening with Earl Thomas, the same thing that happens with a lot of these players in this type of situation is the fact that, they can't get what they want for him. They want a second-round pick and a good player on a guy who is not even on contract yet.
No, he hasn't even signed his franchise tender, so even if somebody's going to trade for him, we're going to start hearing reports about teams asking to talk to him, because we haven't even seen reports of that yet, teams asking to talk to him, because we saw it with Khalil Mack. I think as soon as Khalil Mack signed, the Bears signed him to a deal, because that's how this works.
But he was still under contract.
Yeah. But the Bears knew they were going to be able to re-sign him.
They were able to negotiate you can't even negotiate with Le'Veon Bell because he's not under contract. He'll still fall under the same franchise tag rules, even if he gets traded.
Yes, but you can have a deal in place with him. Like, you can talk to him like, hey, look.
You can collude?
No.
You can collude?
You have a deal in place for him.
But you can't talk about it until after the season.
Okay, nobody talks about deals during the season.
I'm just saying.
That's agents and GMs.
I'm just saying, collusion. Okay? We'll see what happens, man. I mean, I think they're going to try to trade him, but the most I could see them getting for him is a 4th round, and that's high.
Biggest question, fantasy-wise, are you targeting Le'Veon Bell in trade still?
100%.
Obviously,
this gives
a higher trade. Probably you have to give up more now because we have a more set timetable when he's coming back. We have a better idea. Nothing's set in stone, right? We've seen Le'Veon Bell do this before. Reports came out he's going to show up on Labor Day. Never did.
Yeah, I still think he's a great trade target. I mean, he's going to play football this year. You can say whatever you want to about him, but if your team's already in good shape, 3-1, 4-0, why not go out and try to get him?
But obviously the price probably went up a little bit.
Yeah,
from a week ago.
And if he's on that team that's 1-3, 0-4, hell yeah, you should go out and try to get him. Why not? Those teams are on tilt.
Yep. Okay, and let's move on to welcome back from PEDs, Mark Ingram, Julian Edelman. Robert Turbin, another Colts running back who's going to be useless, but okay.
Big bicep Bob.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen pictures of him.
Yeah, so I don't know how relevant the whole Julian Edelman thing. I think out of all of these guys who are coming back, Julian Edelman, Mark Ingram are going to be the ones that are most used, but I think Mark Ingram is the number one guy who's going to be coming in straight. He was at the airport waiting for the team to come back.
Oh, he's ready to play. This is his contract year. Don't forget. This is, like we talk about Le'Veon Bell contract. This is Mark Ingram's contract year. He's not getting franchise tagged with the Saints because they know Kamara's there. He wants to prove something so he can get himself another deal and get on another team.
He's trying to get paid.
Yes. Like, let's not make this anything it wasn't. Like, last year, if he was an All-Pro, he got a contract bump.
Yeah, and he is the best running back to come out of Alabama. I think that's very important to state. But anyway, Mark Ingram, he's going to be the guy that's going to come in right away, and they're going to give him carries. They've seen what Alvin Kamara brings to the running game. He's a guy who's more effective through the air. He's still not a bad running back. And I'm never going to say he's an incredible running back.
Yeah. Do you think with the bye week coming up next week, they ease him into the offense?
I don't see any reason to. I think that they could.
Because last year when Kamara and him were both going smooth, he got about 15 carries a game.
Yeah, but
so I don't see him getting more than 15 touches this week.
No, I don't either. But he didn't get more than 15 touches on an average last year.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, I think he's a low-end RB2 this week.
The thing is that they're going to start trying to preserve Kamara.
Yeah, because we saw in the playoffs last year, I think Kamara got a little gas, like we talked about Todd Gurley getting gas, and Kamara didn't come on until late.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that they're going to start trying to preserve him. I don't see any reason they don't start doing it now. Mark Ingram, if he's still out there on waivers, you need to go grab him. I mean, waivers already happened by the time this episode comes out, but he's a guy that is going to instantly make your team better. I mean, he finished as an RB1 last year.
In a almost 50-50 timeshare.
Which is incredible. And it's not like he's the one that's not going to get any of the passes. He gets passing work too.
Yeah, they use them both, I mean, almost identical ways.
I love Mark Ingram. I think so as far as those three guys that we mentioned that are coming back from PEDs, he's my number one. Julian Edelman's number 2, PPR. And then Robert Turbin, for some reason, has a job.
All right, since we're talking about guys coming back, this is some information I've been sitting on. I don't really want to give it out because I know guys we playing with in leagues. So players are eligible to come off the PUP after week 6.
Yes.
We saw the Houston Texans last week with a terrible run game in a great running situation with Lamar Miller, right?
Yes.
Deontay Foreman is eligible to come back after week 6. I don't know if he's healthy enough to come back, but he is eligible to. If you have roster space, I would be starting to stash Deontay Foreman because we saw flashes last year. I mean, he tore his ACL or he tore his Achilles a 60-yard touchdown run.
That's one of those things that for running backs especially, though, it's a very difficult injury to come back from. For running backs.
It is.
I mean, it didn't even hurt Kobe.
No, and Kobe was like 80 when it happened.
Kobe? But I'm saying it still happened.
So that's just a guy keep on your radar. We'll get into Julian Edelman more on our Thursday night preview. Robert Turbin, we'll get into him on Thursday night preview too.
Yeah, they're playing each other.
Yep. Oh, weird.
All right. That's pretty much
James
it.
Winston will be the starter after the bye. Do you care?
No. I think if anything, this hurts a lot of those guys. Deshaun Jackson's going to end up in a dumpster.
Well, hold on. There is one guy that helps. And we've been talking about it since
Cameron Brate.
Yep.
That's the one guy. So if you were holding on and believing and stashing Cameron Brate, good for you, because O.J. Howard's got the MCL sprain, the same thing as Evan Ingram. And now Jameis Winston is back, even though Cameron Brate's not getting a lot of those. He's not getting a lot of playing time as far as snaps. Doesn't matter because Jameis loves him. He has horrible vision, can't see deep down the field. Cameron Brate's normally pretty close to him, so it all lines up.
It all lines up.
Good for you, Cameron Brate.
All right. Thursday night football. We got the Colts at the Patriots.
This is going to be an awful game. Awful.
So I think the biggest thing with this is there's a lot of injury question marks on both teams. And it's a short week for both teams, obviously. It's a Thursday night game. We'll start with the quarterbacks here. Andy Luck, Tom Brady. You starting them both?
Boom. Have to.
Yeah, I think after what we saw from Andy Luck last week, we can say this Patriots defense, they look good against Miami. It was Miami.
Yeah.
So
I think you have to start both of them.
I think you can start Andy Luck this week. Obviously, Tom Brady. You're probably still starting him. Maybe you can stream somebody else. He's the one I'm a little lower on. I'm actually higher on Andy Luck.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady hasn't shown us enough. I think if Julian Edelman is active, he's going to play. Bill Belichick does not waste roster spots. That is one thing that people can say whatever they want to about Belichick, but if you're active for a game, he plans on using.
Oh, you heard what Tom Brady said, right? He said there's no doubt. I mean, Belichick said, well, we'll see when he gets to practice. But Tom Brady said there's no doubt in my mind that Julian Edelman is ready to go.
Adrian.
Yeah. So I think they're both fine plays. Let's get into the running back situation. We'll start with New England. We got Sony Michel, James White. Start them both?
Start them both.
Okay.
Love them. You got a guy running the ball, you got a guy catching the ball. Running the ball, catching the ball. Their roles are clear. There's only two backs in New England right now, and I love both of them.
And I think they're both great, too, because we'll get into the tight end situation here in a second. But if Gronk doesn't play, there's no goal line threat there. Sony Michel might be getting a lot of rushing yards down the goal line.
Gronk will play.
Okay. Cool. All right. Indianapolis side.
Oh, gross.
We firing up the turban?
No. Put the turban back in the closet. Don't put it on your head. No.
All right. Jordan Wilkins?
Don't like him?
Nope. I wouldn't start him. There's got to be better options. Now, there is one guy I think we both are okay starting as your RB2 this week. Possible flex play.
Nyheim Hines. We saw him get a lot of targets last week. There's probably going to be no TY. We kind of already said that. So Frank Reich actually has a history of using running backs for passing down work. And the most memorable one of recent was Mr. Danny Woodhead. He carried the ball about 100 times, but he was targeted about 100 times. So if Nyheim Hines falls into this role, you're talking about a PPR machine.
Yes.
We know that he can catch the ball. They use him as such, and with TY being out.
And one thing is, so in the preseason, we were worried about fumbles. I haven't seen a lot of fumbling issues since the season started. I think they've squared it away because they're actually giving him work in the goal line. He's been getting goal line carries.
I feel very confident in PPR about Nyheim Hines.
The one thing that might stop me from being super high on Nyheim Hines, because I'm not really high, but if Marlon Mack plays. Marlon Mack, I think, is the best all-around running back there.
No, without a doubt.
But I don't think Marlon Mack's 100% healthy, so I don't think he's getting the full workload. Towards the middle of the season, we see Marlon Mack start taking over. Nyheim Hines' role may start falling off a little bit, especially with T.Y. coming back and probably Jack Doyle, who will probably be in this game either.
But for this game in particular,
Nyheim Hines, are you starting? Do not put him in your flex. I don't care if you got to put Todd Gurley in your flex. Do not put him in your flex.
You know, there's a reason that he gives this warning every week. It's because people still do it. People still do it.
Yeah.
Every week. Please, just listen to him.
Okay, let's run over to the wide receiver section. T.Y. out.
R.I.P. I think he's going to be out.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be out too.
Dude about got his chest knocked in.
Who do you want to start as an Indianapolis wide receiver? Because if we're starting to start Andy Luck, we have to pick a wide receiver. You taking Grant? Pascal?
It's not, I don't want it to be Pascal.
The little iguana from Tangled.
I don't want it to be Pascal. But he was the leading receiver. He had, in this most recent game, 6 for 56 and a touchdown. So he wasn't a leading receiver, but he got a lot of action after T.Y. went out.
He got a touchdown.
He got the touchdown.
Chester Rogers, 8 for 85 in the last game. Which one do you want to start? Of the 3, rank them. Got Chester Rogers, Grant, Pascal.
This is tough because New England normally tries to take away your number 1 weapon. We know that about it.
But they don't have a number 1
weapon.
They
don't have a number 1 weapon. I think with their number 1 weapon right now
is Andy Luck.
Yeah, but Ryan Grant is their number 1 weapon because he was the number 2 receiver. So we'll say, okay, Ryan Grant. Oh gosh.
So you're gonna say Chester Rogers, Ryan Grant, Pascal? Is that how you I think you're kind of leaning here?
Yeah, and I don't feel good about it.
I don't think anybody would.
I think if you feel good about anyone, it's Nyheim Hines.
Yeah. Well, or if Jack Doyle doesn't play.
Oh, Eric Ebron for sure. I just made a trade for him in Dynasty, and I'm going to fire him up this week because I have Trey Burton on him.
And tight ends are so terrible.
The tight end pool is so shallow. My 4-year-old could not swim in it. That's
saying a lot.
Yeah.
Because she's small.
She's very small. She's a sweetheart, but she's very small. But Andy Luck, he's going to throw the ball a lot in this game.
We saw 63 passes last week.
62.
Oh, sorry, I gave him 1 extra.
Yeah,
There's probably a penalty on one. He probably threw it.
464 for 4 teats. He's going to throw the ball quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't see 60, but I see upwards 40s.
I mean, they only ran the ball 17 times.
Yeah.
3 of those was Andrew Luck. So really, they only ran the ball 14 times.
Now, Patriots side of the ball, right? So let's talk about wide receivers. Julian Edelman's back. You starting him?
I don't want to.
Really?
I don't want to because I think, like I said, if Bill Belichick has you on the active roster, you have to start him. Or you have to, that they will use him. But I don't feel confident just yet in his usage. I mean, he hasn't played football in a year and a half.
Yeah, and I think that's really what it comes down to. Like, we remember when he was there and him and Brady were, like, synced up, just locked in there.
Best buds.
One guy.
Such good friends.
But it has been a while since they've been on the field for a full game together, and you do wonder about game conditioning. Like, I don't worry about Edelman for a year long, but this first game, short week.
That's the thing that's most disconcerting for me. Is so my team, one of my teams was directly affected by hamstringitis this week. And then I had a concussion from John Romeo Allison. But T.Y. and Sammy Watkins both went down. So I'm almost pigeonholed into starting Julian Edelman. And I don't feel good about it. But we know the chemistry that him and Tom have. If this wasn't PPR, I definitely wouldn't start him.
Okay. In PPR, I think he's still a good start, depending on what you got in your roster.
He's got a safe floor.
Now the other wide receivers. We got Chris Hogan.
No, he's bench forever. Don't ever...
Are you dropping him? Are you dropping Chris Hogan? We kind of said it before.
Cut him.
Josh Gordon. Do you want Josh Gordon?
Start him.
So I'm not starting Flash this week.
Start him.
Just because it's a Thursday night game.
Start him.
And I've got better options. But if you don't have better options, I'm fine. I would be fine with 3 wide receiver league, probably going to start him.
Start him. Don't even question it. Start him. I mean, Cordero Patterson's not going to get that 3 for 50. See, that's the wild card right here, right?
Because Cordell
Patterson,
Julian Edelman's back. Cordell Patterson,
he's dead.
Bye. You're returning punts again.
So Josh Gordon will take over the Cordell Patterson role.
I think Julian Edelman might do a little more of that. Bubble screen and stuff like that. A little short yards.
Yeah, but Philip Dorsett, I think he still has a role in this offense. And I do believe that the Colts are going to throw the ball quite a bit. I feel pretty confident starting Philip Dorsett, actually.
All right. And then Gronk Smash. Is he playing?
Oh, gosh, dude. He's been so bad lately. But he's been getting a lot of attention because they haven't had a lot of other weapons.
He's been so bad, but he's still a top 5 tight end.
I mean, he's not a top 5 tight end.
He's 7, right? Well, he's 7 in PPR.
I will get back to you in just a moment, but he's not. Actually, he is 7th.
Boom. Right. I just looked it up earlier, so.
He is 7th, but I mean, you have to sit there and look at the last games that he's had. 2 for 15, 4 for 51, 4 for 44, no touchdowns. You're going to start him, obviously. If you have Gronk, it's not like you're going to be, I'm going to start Gronk. If he's active, you're going to start him. Do you feel good about it?
About starting Gronk?
I don't know if I think he's going to have the same kind of production. I think this could be the game where, I mean, you got to look at those last matches.
So Gronk gets 2 touchdowns, he jumps up in the top 5. And it's easy for Gronk to get 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
If he plays, you have to start Gronk if he plays. You took him in the first 2 rounds of a draft, more than likely.
Ugh.
You probably don't have another tight end because you said, I have Gronk smash. I don't need any more tight ends.
I don't need no tight end.
Yeah. So if he plays, you're playing Gronk. I think Gronk and Edelman, when they're on the field together, it hurts Edelman's. We've seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing like when I talk about Jarvis Landry never having a great tight end that played with him. Because when you're a short yardage guy, that's usually what a tight end's doing.
David Njoku is not a great.
No. This is the first year that we've seen even a somewhat
yet.
fantasy relevant tight end with him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Either defense. Are you starting either defense?
No.
Okay.
Don't even.
Way better options out there.
Don't even ask. I'd rather start Tennessee Titans.
Well, everybody would.
I mean, they're
playing Buffalo. Number 1 defense of the week.
Yeah, he's going to be a hot waiver wire ad, and I will not get him. But yeah, I'm not interested in these defenses, man.
Kickers, starting both of them?
You're going to start Gostkowski. Of course, you're going to start the old man. Everybody knows that.
Okay, it's kickers. Nobody cares.
No one cares. Actually, the Rams just cut their kicker.
Yeah, again, they haven't signed anybody else, and they said, what's his face isn't healthy yet either.
Greg Zuerlein?
There you go.
Yeah, he's not healthy yet.
Names.
Yeah, so, I mean, kickers don't matter. I hate kickers so much.
You think New England wins this game by a lot? You think they get up early and Andy Luck's not?
I don't think they're going to win by a lot, but I do think they're going to win the game. New England's not dead yet. Are they on the decline? Yeah. But dude, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have that train rolling still to this day. It doesn't matter if they got 1 wide receiver or 15 of them, they're going to be effective. Now, what you do need to expect is a little bit of a drop for James White in his receptions with Julian Edelman coming back. I do want to state that. So I understand he had a great game, 8 for 68, a touchdown receiving, and then he had a touchdown rushing. Just please temper your expectations on that. This game will not be a blowout like it was against the Dolphins. The Colts defense is not that bad. Their offense,
it's a 10-point spread.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those.
It's still a decent spread.
It is, but I just don't expect it to be one of those things that the Patriots just run away with it. So temper your expectations for James White. He's still startable. He's still an RB2, but
I would start looking to move James White off these high games he's had. He's a great candidate to sell high on, I think.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you.
All right. Anything else you want to bring up here?
No, I think that's good. I feel pretty good about what we just did.
So remember, teams that are on the bye, Tampa Bay
and Chicago.
So when you're searching your waiver wire, look for the guys that got dropped that are possibly on bye. Then maybe somebody's trying to sneak in there. Maybe somebody has sneakily traded Trey Burton, just tried to sneak him through there.
Oh, this hurt me so bad. I had so many Trey Burton shares.
You forgot he had an early bye?
Yep. I paid for that. I'm going to pay for that one. But
yeah. But, I mean, look out there. You're going to see some crazy stuff happen with these bye weeks.
Yep.
All right. We will see you on Friday morning breaking down all your games.
We hope that you guys have a great week. We love you. And good luck. Good luck this weekend. And enjoy some fantasy football. Enjoy that Thursday night game, guys. Because I think it's going to be crap.
What?
Nah, I'm just kidding. It'll be a fun offensive game.
Football, baby.
Later.
Later.